Hey, DJ, we're finally back in the studio. Do you know what today is?
It's the 50th anniversary of our podcast.
Well, not the 50th anniversary. We haven't been doing this for 50 years, but it's our 50th episode.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We're a couple of guys who like to watch movies, cinema nerds who made it our duty to make a show where we break down, discuss, and review. We're the men who watch movies.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first live episode of The Men Who Watch Movies. We're experimenting with live streaming now. Don't say I don't change. It's been a long time since we've done this, right?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long, long time.
You thought you canceled us, but you can't cancel The Men Who Watch Movies. We have a great episode in store for you. We're just gonna, chit-chat and catch up with the movies that we've seen. I've seen a lot of good movies since we've last done the podcast, so we'll get to that in a bit. Excited to see what you've been up to.
Oh, yeah.
Whatnot. We took a hiatus. We had a lot going on in our lives. Of course, I had a daughter. That's amazing. I've also been through a lot. I had surgery for the first time. That was unpleasant, but you got to have the bad with the good, and all that life stuff, and job stuff, and all kinds of things. Life happens, but we're back in the studio. So let's get down to it. But first, before we do that, we have to take care of some business.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
We got to talk about what's been going on in this crazy industry. This week in movie news. Cue that intro. All right. Oop, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. No. Let's see. A little technical glitch here. Right. We have a lot of great movie news for you guys today. Right. Our first bit of movie news. Justin Lin reportedly in talks to direct Spider-Man 4. What do you think about that? And
That looks interesting.
When I
Very,
first saw
very interesting.
the headline Spider-Man 4, I was thinking, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. But no, this is the one with what's his face? Tom Holland. This is the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4 movie. Now there's no news on whether it's going to be or what villain it's going to be, or what not. But what do you think? Are you a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Oh, definitely. He is so terrific. He is one of the new Spider-Mans that's very, very entertaining. But I'm a fan of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. I didn't like the Andy Garfield ones, but he's grown on me. I'm a huge fan of Toby. We went over this. We did a 20th anniversary Spider-Man special when it was just our audio podcast. You could check that out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever your choice is. But yeah. I mean, we love the Toby ones. That's the ones we grew up with. We've seen all of them in theaters when they came out. I've seen both of the Andrew Garfield movies, and the first one wasn't too bad. The second one was pretty pretty bad. What do you think? What did you think about the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
It's good.
Really?
That is one big pile of shit.
That's what I thought about it. I mean, it had its moments. I love, of course, Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield's chemistry. I think that was the main selling point of that movie. But other than that, it was pretty bad. But I'm glad that he got redemption in Spider-Man No Way Home. I felt like his character got the love he deserved. But yeah. So we'll see what's in store for Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man 4. Zendaya is reportedly rumored to return, which, if you remember the last movie, her memory was wiped along with everyone else who knew Peter Parker. So she does not know who he is, and it's very tragic. So we'll see if she gets her memory back. It's going to erase all that emotional element from the last movie, which they'll probably do. All right. Moving on. Still keeping with the Marvel news, Julia Garner has been cast as the Silver Surfer. Controversial casting, a female Silver Surfer. Everyone's like, well, they got woke. But there is a female Silver Surfer in the Marvel Comics universe, created by Stan Lee. Now, this isn't the typical Norrin Rad that we're used to. This character is called Shalabal. But yeah, so I mean, it's comic accurate, so you can't fault them. I would have loved to see Norrin Rad. Hopefully, we eventually get to see Norrin. But yeah, Julia Garner is a very great actress. I don't know if you've seen Ozark. She was great in that TV show on Netflix. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this whole Fantastic Four movie entails. I mean, it's going to be set in the 60s. That's it's interesting. What do you think about that?
It's going to be awesome.
I always wanted to see a Marvel movie set in the 60s because the greatest Silver Age characters came from the 60s. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, of course, is Marvel's first family. Kicked off the Silver Age. All the greats started in the 60s. And I've always wanted to see like a retro 60s version of all those characters. So we'll get our 60s Fantastic Four. That's going to be interesting. All right. Next bit of movie news. Joker 2 is going to have at least 15 cover songs. And it's going to be like what's called a jukebox musical, where it incorporates popular songs. So most of the soundtrack's not even going to be original music. What do you think about that?
It looks interesting.
Have you seen the trailer? It just dropped, I think, yesterday.
I have not seen it, but
I haven't seen it.
Maybe
we should do a reaction video at some point.
Yep.
But I don't know. The premise seems wacky, but Joaquin Phoenix is a great actor, and so is Lady Gaga. I wasn't a big fan of her when she first came out with her avant-garde bullshit, but she's a great actress, man. So we'll see. I feel like this is interesting, at least. I mean, it's they're subverting our expectations here. At least they're not rehashing the old same crap. From what I've heard, like the musical elements are supposed to be a part of their mental illness, so that could be interesting. Yeah, so we'll see. I definitely want to check it out. It seems like a wild ride, man. Keeping with Batman news, the Batman Part 2 will reportedly begin filming in April of 2025. I can't wait. Of course, Barry Keoghan from Saltburn fame is reprising his role as the Joker. And I don't know what other villains are going to show up. Of course, hopefully Colin Farrell's Penguin pops his head in there. He's still bobbing around. Of course, we're going to get that HBO Max show, which I've been waiting for forever, and finally it's coming to fruition. What do you think about that? Are you excited for that?
It's going to be awesome.
We've been talking about this ever since our first episode, man.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can check out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts as an audio-only podcast. Yeah. Right. Let's chug along. Next bit of movie news. James Gunn's Superman reboot will be shot entirely in IMAX. That's awesome. Man, a lot of people are divided on this James Gunn Superman movie. Of course, you got the Snyder stands on one side. You got James Gunn fans on the other side. This is like a representation of our country at the moment. Divided down the middle, left and right. I don't know. I don't feed into all that bullshit. I love the Snyder movies for their own thing. Of course, there were some that weren't so great, but that wasn't all his fault. And then, of course, James Gunn has done a great job with all his superhero movies. I love the Guardians movies. He did a great job with the Suicide Squad sequel. I have no reason not to trust him. At the moment. I mean, he may prove us wrong and totally fuck up Superman. But only time will tell. And so far, he has a great track record. I don't know. What do you think?
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, people are saying superhero movies are dead. At first, I was kind of fighting that notion, but I have a feeling they're on their way out. But let's see. Maybe he can revitalize the dying art form of the superhero movie. Right. Next bit of movie news. Keeping with Superman, Craig Gillespie is officially in talks to direct the Supergirl film, part of this new DC universe. He's the director behind Cruella and I, Tonya. I haven't seen Cruella, have you?
With Emma Stone?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I've seen it.
Oh, you saw it? Was it
Yeah,
good?
it's good.
I haven't seen it, but I have seen I, Tonya. It's a great movie about, I think, Tonya Harding, played by Margot Robbie. She was great in that. It had Sebastian Stan. Check it out. It's on Hulu, I believe. Wonderful movie. Yeah. So that's a great great start to the Supergirl movie. Moving away from superheroes, Happy Gilmore is getting a sequel confirmed by Shooter McGavin himself, Christopher McDonald. Yeah, he apparently he was asked, I think, by like an interviewer or somebody, and if he had talked to Adam Sandler, and he talked about a story about how Adam Sandler had seen him and he showed him the script for Happy Gilmore 2. So I'm guessing Shooter's returning. We're gonna get another Shooter versus Happy match. Are you excited for that?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm very cautiously optimistic. They have a tendency to screw up movies when the sequel's been so far removed from the original. It's been forever since the first Happy Gilmore movie, and of course, a lot of greats have passed away, including Chubbs himself. So he's not going to be returning. I don't know. I want to believe this is going to be good, but Adam Sandler's movies lately have been very hit or miss, mostly miss. So we'll see. We'll see how this pans out. But yeah, all right, what do you think?
It's gonna be awesome. The sequel to Happy Gilmore is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Carl Weathers, man. Though it's not gonna be the same without him.
Me too.
And I hope they don't do any AI Carl Weathers bullshit. No, just leave him out. Mention him. Show a picture. Say like, oh, I'm doing this for Chubbs. Well, he was dead in the movie, but I hope they don't do any like ghostly, like how like at the end of Happy Gilmore 1 when you see Chubbs in the sky with Abraham Lincoln and the alligator. Hopefully they don't bring him back with any like CGI crap. And then he's like guiding him like Mufasa or some shit. Just leave him, just let him be. All right. Next bit of movie news. Divine Joy Randolph finds her first post-Oscars project with Michelle Gondry's Pharrell Williams musical. This is exciting. She did a great job in the movie The Holdovers. Have you seen The Holdovers?
I have.
The great
with
Paul Giamatti.
With that eye of his.
The eye. And what was with that eye? Was it real or fake? What was going on with his eye?
Well, it turns out it was one of those contacts.
Oh, it was a contact. I was worried for Paul Giamatti. I thought he was having a stroke the entire movie. Like what was going on?
Yeah, that eye.
I was like, is he dying on us? I know he's an older man, but okay, so that was fake. It was like a special effect.
Oh yeah, it's a
okay,
contact.
good. I was like, what's wrong with Paul Giamatti? That was legit, man. But yeah, that was a great little movie. It's a great palate cleanser after all these sequels and these special effects fests and whatnot. A great little movie. I highly recommend it. It's streaming right now, I think, on Peacock or something like that. I don't know where you watched it. Did you see it in theaters?
I saw it on Amazon Prime at my
Oh,
mom's
was it Amazon
house.
Prime? Oh yeah, I think it's on Peacock, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's on Amazon. I don't know. There's so many fucking streaming services nowadays. Great movie. I highly recommend it. It's about like these the Holdovers refers to like the students that get left behind during Christmas vacation. They don't have they don't have like a house to go to. They're at the school and they have to stay behind at the school. And Paul Giamatti gets picked. He's like a teacher at the school, and he gets picked to look after these holdovers that are stuck at the school because they don't have anywhere to go for the holidays. And it's a fun movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, go in depth, but Divine Joy Randolph's character has some great moments, very emotional story arc. She definitely deserved the Oscar. So looking forward to her next project. Also joining that Pharrell Williams musical is Halle Bailey, who she recently portrayed Ariel in The Little Mermaid. So apparently, It's going to be set in 1977 Virginia Beach, inspired by Atlantis Apartments, which is Williams' childhood neighborhood. So interesting. I don't know. I have no idea if this is way off base, but so far the premise kind of reminds me of like In the Heights. I don't know. It's a musical set in a neighborhood. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen any, like, there's no like footage or anything else besides that brief description. So I don't know, but we'll see. I'll definitely check it out. Not a huge fan of musicals, but if there's great talent behind it, I'm down. What say you? Yeah, you want to see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Moving on to Dune. You saw Dune 2.
Oh yeah.
Did you like it?
It was very, very good.
Apparently, other people thought so as well. Dune Part 2 passes 600 million at the global box office.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's doing great. I heard great things about it. I've seen the first one. I have not seen the second one yet. I definitely want to check it out, but it's hard to get to the theaters nowadays, so I might wait for it to go on streaming, which is unfortunate because these movies are very visually, like, stunning, you know? It'd be great to see it in IMAX, but yeah. Yeah, it's doing great. Apparently, Dune Messiah is officially in development at Legendary Studios. Yeah, so they're going to chug along with the sequels and all the extra movies and whatnot. Timothée Chalamet, of course, star of Dune, he's doing great for himself. Apparently, he signed a Warner Brothers deal to star in and produce new movies after the success of Dune and Wonka. I don't know if you've seen Wonka. It was fun. I'm a huge Gene Wilder fan. I thought, automatically I want to shit on any new Wonka stuff that comes out. But I broke down and watched it. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was entertaining. I would recommend it, especially if you have kids. It's fun, and it's very silly, over the top. It has a good little happy ending and whatnot. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. That's as complimentary as I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm not a huge Chalamet fan. I think they've been using him way too much. He's going to play like Bob Dylan in a Bob Dylan biopic, and they're just sticking him anywhere where they can. But hey, if he's making the money, of course, studio's going to do whatever they have to, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next bit of movie news. We're going to Pirates of the Caribbean land. Apparently, they're working on a new Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not going to be a sequel. Apparently, Jerry Bruckheimer says it's going to be a reboot. Now, I don't know if this is the rumored Margot Robbie led reboot.
Johnny Depp?
Huh?
Is it going to be with Johnny Depp, or is it?
I don't know. There's not much information on it, but supposedly it's going to be a reboot, so I can imagine maybe Johnny Depp is not in it. I don't know if it's going to be a reboot set in the universe of the originals, like a soft reboot, or if it's going to be a hard reboot, all new characters. I have no idea. This movie didn't have to be made. Just let it die. Those first movies were great, especially the very first one. But now they're just kind of driving them into the ground, like every franchise. They're just hammering that nail into the coffin. Just throw the dirt, put some flowers on it, call it a day. It's dead. It's already dead. Anyway, speaking of biopics. Jeremy Allen White, great actor. I don't know if you've seen The Bear. It's a TV show. You can watch it on FX. Have you seen The Bear?
I have not, but I'll see a clip of it on YouTube.
Yeah, I recommend that you check it out if you have FX. I don't know if you have. Hulu. You can check it. It's on FX, and then you can watch it on Hulu. That's where I'm watching it. If you have Hulu, I would definitely recommend The Bear. It's about a chef played by Jeremy Allen White who returns home after a family tragedy to run the family business. Great drama, has a lot of hilarious moments. Highly recommend it. Not to get too off topic here. Jeremy Allen White is in talks to play Bruce Springsteen in a movie about Nebraska, the album from Gotham Group. Now, I don't know. What do you think about the biopic? I feel like there's so many. A lot of people are tired of them. They're like, enough biopics. A lot of them are terrible. And what is your opinion on the biopic?
It looks awesome. If he's gonna play Bruce Springsteen, then all right.
Baby, we're born to run. Anyway, I don't know. What do you like biopics in general? Are you?
Oh yeah. Of them? I mean, they're very fun to watch.
I like biopics, especially when they're creative. I liked Rocket Man. a lot of people don't like a Bohemian Rhapsody. I loved it when it came out, mostly because of Rami Malek. His portrayal was excellent. Like he wasn't. I wouldn't have him as my first choice as someone to play Freddie Mercury, but he killed it, man. He put all his heart and soul into it, and he was the leading force of that movie. Of course, all the other actors who portrayed the band were great. I think they're the heart and soul of the movie. Other than that, it does follow a very basic structure. A lot of people compared it to Dewey Cox, which was a parody of biopics, very cliche moments. And I feel like Bohemian Rhapsody did follow all those cliche movie like biopic moments down to the T, and that's what a lot of people hate about it. I still find it charming just because Rami Malek and the rest of the cast were just so excellent in it. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Great movie, Dewey Cox. That was a funny movie.
It's one of my favorites. Of course, they're doing a Beatles biopic. I just mentioned the Timothy Chalamet and the Bob Dylan biopic. And not only the Beatles biopic is not only just one movie, it's going to be 4 separate movies about each of the Beatles. And then supposedly they're going to come together and form the Beatles. Come together. I bet they're going to play that. And I bet they're going to make a 5th movie when they finally come together like the Avengers. And they assemble. I don't know.
They are going to make a Beach Boys biopic on Disney Plus.
They've done several of those already. I remember there was one with what's that guy who played the Riddler? Paul Dano. Paul Dano. I think he played Brian Wilson, and then he was like a younger Brian Wilson, and then what's the guy? I forget. Say Anything. The guy who held up the music.
John Cusack.
John Cusack. He played the older version of Brian Wilson. I don't know. There's so many. A lot of them are not that good, but hopefully this one about Bruce Springsteen is great. All right. Oh, and then Jeremy Allen White in Iron Claw. Great movie. We'll talk about that later. Not to get too off topic. Not to get ahead of ourselves. All right. Star Trek movie news. Are you a fan of like the newer Star Trek movies?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the new ones. I'm a fan of the old ones. I'm nostalgic for the Trekker movies.
You love Star Trek, man.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time, you've been a big Trekker.
Oh, yeah.
I almost said Trekkie, but I know that for like OG Star Trek fans, that's almost like a no to call him a Trekkie.
A Trekker.
But a lot of I think a lot of people now are okay with the term Trekkie, but I'm gonna go with Trekker just to be safe.
Means adventurer.
Star Trek 4 gets a new screenwriter from the flight attendant co-creator Steve Yockey. So he's gonna be the writer of that. Paramount intends the project to be the final chapter for the cast that includes Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, John Cho, and Simon Pegg. And rest in peace, Anton Yelchin. Such a tragic death.
Very, very tragic.
I got to say, there's a certain amount of charm to these movies, especially the first one. I wasn't a big fan of the sequels, but they did an okay job of bringing a sense of excitement back to Star Trek. I've heard a lot of bad things about the new series that have been coming out, but this has a good cast, and so hopefully they give them a great send off. So we'll see what adventure they send them on in the stars. All right. Moving on, we got a lot of movie news. Oh, that's Will Smith slap never goes away. Apparently, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith's charity is to close due to the famous or infamous Will Smith slap. Now, tax filings show that after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars, high-profile contributors that have given to the Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation in the past have stopped. Now, the enterprise is in the process of shutting down for good, like so much 99-cent store. What do you think?
It's I'm sure it's a little ridiculous, but if they have to shut it down, they have to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he acted, he was just people didn't want to give.
Immature man.
Very, very much so. I mean, he's on his comeback now. He's doing Bad Boys 4, and he has a bunch of other projects. He's posting TikToks and shit. Very cringy TikToks, if I might say so myself. But yeah. I mean, he's back on the comeback trail. Yeah, it's whatever. I'm tired of talking about this. How about that 99-cent store, man? Hopefully they bring it back, you know? Anyway, not to get too off topic here. Austin Butler. What do you think about Austin Butler?
He's a tremendous actor. Very, very talented.
Definitely. He was great in Elvis. Apparently he can't shake that Elvis accent, but I don't mind it. Sounds very suave. Austin Butler's to officially star in the next film from Darren Aronofsky. According to Deadline, Austin Butler is officially set to star in a movie called Caught Stealing. Based on the book by the same name by Charlie Hudson. It follows the story of a burned out former baseball player named Hank Thompson, who is unwittingly plunged into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 90s New York. That sounds kind of cool. What do you think?
It looked awesome.
Yeah, you want to check that out? We should check that out.
Oh, very much.
I want to see the gritty 90s New York. Sounds like a very, I like movie. It has a very textural feel that, just based off that description. I could feel the grunge.
It's the same thing with the Echo series. Very, very gritty.
I could smell the pee-pee. I could see the grit and grime under my feet. Very, very descriptive, very exciting. We'll see. We'll see what that entails. Moving on to some movie that I'm not excited for. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. I didn't even know there was a part 2. I know we've talked about the first one. I don't know how they're getting the funding for this.
It's messed up.
I heard the first one was just absolute trash. It's not even one of those movies that's so bad it's good. I heard it just awful. And I guess they made a second one, and now they're making another one. It's insane. I'm guessing the budget is so low that they can afford to keep making more. That whatever money they made off of it was enough to push it over the top, to justify the sequels. It's streaming somewhere. I saw it. I think it was on. I don't know if it was
not on Disney Plus.
No,
different channels.
No, Disney Plus does have some adult titles now. If you turn on the certain settings,
the Echo TV series.
I saw The Big Lebowski on Disney Plus.
You did?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
cool.
And that has nudity. So it depends on the setting you have on there. If you have it on like the child friendly setting, you're not going to get any of that. But they've been putting a lot of other properties that normally you would see on Hulu. They're merging that with Disney Plus. I think eventually they want to merge the two streaming services into one, which is kind of cool. Anytime you can downgrade them. I have too many streaming services. Merge them together. But yeah, anyway, not to get too off topic. I will not be watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 anytime soon. Maybe if you put a gun to my head, but yeah, not willingly. Next bit of movie news: Freaky Friday. Have you seen the original Freaky Friday? No.
Oh yeah.
I think there was the original, and then the remake. Back before the term reboot was popular.
I saw the remake. The
remake with Lindsay Lohan and, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis.
I love that one. It's so funny.
It was pretty decent. They're making a sequel to the remake. Freaky Friday 2 is a go with Welcome to Chippendale's director. Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan returning. She's been back for a while now. She had a low point, but yeah, that's all over now. She's back. She has a child now. She's doing great. It's good to see someone make a comeback. Good old-fashioned American comeback. I wasn't a huge fan of the original, but it was amusing. It was kind of fun. I remember seeing it back in the day on TV when it finally showed up on network TV. That was before we had streaming and whatnot. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what this new one entails. Hopefully, it has the same fun atmosphere as the first one. All right. Next bit of movie news: Kevin Smith. Are you a Kevin Smith fan?
Oh yeah,
I love his stuff.
Clerks 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, the whole Askew-universe. I even like some of the Great White North trilogy stuff. Well, it didn't turn out to be a trilogy. I think Moose Jaws never came to fruition, but I liked Walrus or Tusk. It was called Tusk. That was a good movie. Apparently, Kevin Smith has a new movie in the works with Saban Films, who backed Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It's going to be a movie called 4:30 the Movie. and it's a coming-of-age story about three 16-year-old friends, played by Austin Zajur, Nicholas Carrillo, and Reed Northrup, who spend their Saturdays sneaking into the movies at a local multiplex. But when one of the guys also invites the girl of his dreams to the latest comedy, each of the teens will learn something serious about life, love, before the credits roll. Sounds very quaint. It reminds me of one of his earlier pictures, like Mallrats or Clerks. What do you think about this? Do you think it sounds good?
It looks awesome.
I definitely want to check it out. It's taking him back to his roots, where very simplistic stories. Where you don't. It's not one of these. It doesn't sound like an overly like wacky stoner comedy, like something like Jay and Silent Bob, where they put him in these unreal situations. It sounds very grounded. Sounds very, like I said, Mallrats-esque. Something very early Kevin Smith, which I'm excited to see him return to his roots. I don't know. Sounds exciting. Sounds very refreshing, if you will. Definitely going to check this one out. Matrix. It's coming back. I don't know if have you seen the latest Matrix movie?
The third one?
Matrix 4, I think.
The fourth one?
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
It was okay. It was definitely kind of like a not tongue-in-cheek. What would you call it? Like very meta. It's kind of poking fun at itself being a sequel. Very self-aware.
I heard that it had a different Agent Smith that was a younger one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, it had a flashback of Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, so it had it connected a little bit.
Yeah, it was very, like I said, it was very meta, very like only one of the Wachowskis worked on it, and they kind of did it like very tongue-in-cheek, very like poking, like very introspective, looking at the fact that it was a sequel, and but this is going to be I think pretty much a straightforward sequel. I think Warner Brothers wanted to move away from that. The Wachowskis aren't involved at all. They probably like sat there and be like, we want a regular sequel, action-packed and whatnot. That was my impression of a generic WB executive. So they're making a new movie with Drew Goddard directing. He directed The Martian, Cabin in the Woods, World War Z, all your typical, Hollywood movies and whatnot. So he's going to take over the Matrix franchise. I'm not excited for this. I feel like it's going to be a sequel in name only, and it's going to be like your typical, like the typical soft reboots that you see nowadays. Where they're just like, there's no soul to them. It's very easy to spot a movie that doesn't have a soul. Like those Jurassic World movies, like they have no soul. Anyway, I don't want to get on too much of a rant here. Let's get too off topic here. Indiana Jones 5, speaking of a movie without any soul, Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny, reportedly lost over $134 million at the box office for Disney. Maybe they'll learn their lesson. Time to let the old ways die. It was kind of fun seeing Harrison Ford back in action. Did you see it?
I did, actually. It
What
was
did you think of
very,
it?
very different, very, very good. I heard that
I don't know if
in
that's the word I
one
would use for it.
interview that someone was trying to help Harrison Ford on the horse, and he said, "Let me do it. I can ride a horse."
Back the fuck off, you idiots. No, I don't know. But yeah, he's a very grumpy old man. No, I get it. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like I was talking about earlier with movies without a soul. They ain't got no soul. It just just rehashing all this stuff. None of the younger generation, unless if they have the parents that were into it and then they forced their kids into it. None of the kids really care about this shit. They don't know what an Indiana Jones is. They don't know, they're not into it. And it's basically just a nostalgia grab, which is very popular. It's very hip and trendy with the Hollywood execs at the moment. But audiences can see right through it. Audiences are smarter than they think. And, if it doesn't have the right heart behind it, it's not going to do very well. And let this be a lesson to you, Disney. You're not invulnerable from all this shit. So better start making better movies, or else you're going to get more of this, failure, more failure. I can't speak today. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this is a wake-up call for them?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a wake-up call, but I'm glad that they're trying to make new movies and whatnot. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Elk. There's a whole bunch of yada yada. What the film is going on?
With the film.
Do you understand the words
All right,
that are
all right,
coming
all right.
out of my mouth?
Next bit of movie news. Jonathan Majors. Whoa. Have you seen the latest Jonathan Majors news?
I did see it on a podcast recently.
So apparently he's been sentenced to a 52-week in-person domestic violence intervention program after being convicted of reckless assault in the third degree and harassment back in December. What do you think? Do you think he's going to make it through this? Do you think his career is going to come back?
I am not sure. It's a hit or miss. It's a little different, but I hope he comes out of it, with a good positive attitude.
Yeah. I mean, he was convicted of this. So, I mean, I make of that what you will. I don't know what really went on, but it's such a shame that he got involved in all this bullshit. It took his career down, man. Like it was, he was very up and coming. He had a lot of great hits. He was going to be the next Marvel baddie. And they totally cut him out of the Marvel universe. They're reworking it as we speak, so we'll see who they're going to get next for the big villain. Yeah, he was great in Creed 3. I think it was Creed 3, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was, he was excellent in all those movies, and it's such a shame, But hopefully his career comes back. I mean, Will Smith's, making a comeback. I mean, and it's such a shame too because like you have so many other like depraved people in Hollywood that are still operating. I mean, Ezra Miller went fairly unscathed. You think all the shit that he did would justify them cutting him out as the Flash, but they still released his Flash movie. I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, some people thinking this is a racial thing. And it almost seems like that, like the way they cut him down so quick over this assault stuff. When Ezra Miller is over there assaulting people left and right, and he still gets his movies released. What the fuck?
What the film? It's going on.
Well, I mean, if he did what he did, he needs to pay his dues, and hopefully after that he's able to make amends with the fans. And I want to see him come back. I want to see him. He's a great actor. And I want to see what else he has in store. He has a lot to give in his career. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. All right. Next bit of movie news. Jason Blum is reviving Blair Witch Project for Lionsgate with a new film. Yeah, so I don't know if you're a Blair Witch fan, but we got some new Blair Witch on the way.
I don't know if I'm a Blair Witch fan, but...
I don't think I've seen one Blair Witch movie.
I heard that the first one, Adam said that it was a little grainy and the
that's
camera
right.
was a little shaky and whatnot. It was a little, I have no idea, but it was like, I heard he said the first one was a bad movie for some reason.
I think you saw it in theaters, right?
Oh yeah.
I never went to see it. I haven't seen it at all. The only thing I know about it is that famous scene where they have their eye too close to the camera. I'm so scared and whatnot. Everyone parodied that. Other than that, I have no idea what these movies are about. But if you're a fan, there's another one on the way, so keep an eye out for that. And then, if you're a Monopoly fan, we got some big news for you. The Monopoly movie is a go. It's in the works from Margot Robbie and Lionsgate. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see exactly what a Monopoly movie is. I have no idea what that means.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, but it's going to be a live-action feature film based on the game.
Who's going to play the mustache top hat man?
I don't know.
Monopoly
They
man?
should get somebody that you would not expect. Like, they should get, like, John Cena and put a
Or
big...
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Maybe. I don't know. I was thinking it'd be funny because he's like a little old man with a mustache. You get someone to subvert the expectations. You get like a big dude with some muscles. That'd be funny. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what this entails exactly. I have no clue, and I'm scared and excited at the same time.
I'm very positive about this movie if I can see it.
Yeah. All right. And our last bit of movie news is a sad bit of movie news. We have an in memoriam section. A couple of people that we want to honor this week. First of all, Chance Perdomo. has passed away. He was Ambrose Spellman in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and he played Andre Anderson in Gen V. He has died at the age of 27 in a motorcycle accident. So
Very sad.
tragic. Be careful out there, guys, man. There's a lot of crazy drivers and whatnot.
Be careful.
So tragic. He had a lot more to give, and unfortunately he passed away way too early, man. So rest in peace. And of course, we have the legendary comedian Joe Flaherty. Passed away at the age of 82. He was part of the beloved Canadian sketch series SCTV. Of course, he
what a legendary man.
And then he had cameos galore in a bunch of our favorite movies. Stripes. He played like the guard at the that was in one of the enemy camps or whatever. And then of course he was in Happy Gilmore. He played the guy who was heckling Happy Gilmore, paid by Shooter McGavin. And then he had that cameo in Back to the Future 2.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he was the guy who gave Marty the letter from Doc from the Western Union. I have a letter for you. That was any little scene he was in was so memorable, even if it was a tiny.
And he's gonna be in the cameo of Happy Gilmore 2.
Well, I mean, not now. He passed away, but I don't think they haven't filmed before he passed away. So unfortunately, he won't be returning. But hopefully, they give him a little in memoriam. Like, you know how sometimes they dedicate the movie to people. I'm sure they'll dedicate it to Carl Weathers.
It's a wonderful gesture to movies.
I'm sure they'll dedicate it to Carl Weathers and hopefully Joe Flaherty. And that brings a wrap to This Week in Movie News. Now let's get on with the main part of the show. I just want to chit chat and talk about what movies we've seen since we've been gone. What you been up to since we've last done this?
I've been hitting the gym and whatnot.
Oh, really?
Well,
I'm talking movie.
Oh, sorry
movie
about that.
wise.
What?
I've been seeing a movie called Monkey Man.
Oh, you saw Monkey Man. Now that's who directed that?
Dave Patel.
Oh, that's right.
Actor and director.
And this is his first directing. This is like his debut, right, as a director.
Oh yeah.
Now I haven't had a chance to see this, but I'm excited to because it really, I heard that it's very indie. It's kind of like flying by the seat of their pants. I heard at one point, I think they ran out of a budget or something, and they had something happened where they had a film on his iPhone. And I love little stories like that because it brings back the excitement of filmmaking. Because nowadays, with all these huge budgets and CGI, you can do anything. You can basically, there's no mistakes, and everything's very like a machine. But when you have like guerrilla style filmmaking like this, where you just kind of doing what you have to get the movie made. You have to work around limitations. Some of the most exciting movies come out of adverse situations like that. And I don't know. When I heard that, it just made me excited to see it, just for that alone. But he is a great actor turned director, and I don't know. Did you enjoy Monkey Man?
Oh, I did. It was fantastic. Action is superb. The creativity is fantastic. They do have a little bit of flashbacks of stuff in there, but I will not spoil it for you. For those who want to see it.
Thank you. But can you give us a little bit of what the movie's about?
Oh, it's about some guy, doing odd jobs for, a company that's, a little shady and whatnot. But after that, he is a wrestler wearing a monkey mask and fighting people.
Interesting. I got to check that out. I'm starting to get more into more smaller pictures like that because there's so much, so much special effects movies out there. There's so many bombastic tentpole films, and it's nice to see movies with heart behind them rather than a corporation. I mean, all the movies are meant to make money, but there's movies you could tell they have heart, and there's movies that ain't got no soul. But yeah, I definitely want to check out Monkey Man. One movie that I've seen since we've last been on the pod, I think I mentioned before, Iron Claw. Have you seen Iron Claw?
I saw the trailer.
I would highly recommend it. Zac Efron was a powerhouse in this movie. big beefcake. He really worked out. Jeremy Allen White, like I mentioned before, from The Bear, he's in this. Just such great actors. It's about this famous wrestling family, the Von Erichs. They're a real wrestling family, and all the shit that they went through. Their father was really like, he was really tough on them. He wanted them to be the best. He was a wrestler himself back in the day, and he pushed his sons to be the greatest in the world. And that didn't always work out to the best, but. There's a lot of not to spoil anything, but there's tragedies that happened in their family. Apparently, there was a Von Erich curse that lingered over them, and some things happened in the movie. It's very inspiring, very sad, bittersweet, all the emotions. I got a little misty-eyed, I got to say. When I heard people cry during this movie, I was like, "That's stupid." And then I seen what they were talking about, and I'm like, "Okay, I get it now." It has some sad ass moments in there, but it's a great movie, wonderfully put together. It didn't get the love it deserved at the Oscars, but it got all the love it deserved right here in my heart. I would highly recommend it. Great movie. Check it out. I had to rent it. It's not available streaming yet. I rented it. My rental platform of choice is YouTube. Movies and TV. I rent things on YouTube. It's just my choice. But you can rent it, I think, anywhere where video on demand is available.
But Argyle is available on streaming also.
Oh, that's right. You've seen Argyle.
It's good.
I was excited about it, then I heard bad things about it. What did you think of Argyle?
It was a very, very awesome hero movie about a book writer who writes about spy novels, and of course she's involved in a real life spy conspiracy, so there's a lot of mystery, a lot of nuances.
Bryce Dallas Howard, right?
Oh yeah.
And it has, of course, the great Henry Cavill, and then Dua Lipa. She's been in she's normally a singer. I don't know if you're familiar with her music. I'm a fan of hers,
And then of course Catherine O'Hara, who plays the mother in the movie, and of course Bryan Cranston, who gives out a great Bond villain monologue, the way he does as a villain in the movie.
So it sounds like you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah,
So
very much.
So you disagree with what people are saying, fans and critics who didn't like it? What would you say to them?
Just give it a high rental, and then after that, just buy it on DVD.
Yeah. What would you rate it out of a 10?
I rate it 10 out of 10.
Wow, that's a high rating, man. But I'm not surprised. You're a big movie fan. You tend to rate things really high. So your excitement. Excuse me, I'm clearing my throat on the air. Your excitement has gotten me excited. Now I have to check it out.
Oh yeah.
I do love Henry Cavill.
It should be available on DVD soon. I'm not sure, but
I think it's already available to rent, and maybe it's streaming somewhere. I have no idea. Don't ask me. Another movie that I've seen since we've last done the podcast is the new Roadhouse remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. I was pleasantly surprised. Sorry, I can't talk today.
Do you understand the words that are coming out from my mouth?
Tripping up on my words. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I've seen the original. I wasn't a huge fan. I've seen it later in my life. I didn't grow up watching the original Roadhouse, but Swayze is a legend, and I know you are dedicated to the Swayze version.
It has a lot of surprises in the original one. Very, very memorable surprises, and very, very cool cameos in the original one.
Yeah, Swayze is God. Well, not God, but he's a movie god. He definitely is. It's hard to replace him in a movie, but I think this new Roadhouse is a little turn your brain off treat. It has great action sequences in it. I don't know if I would have picked Jake Gyllenhaal to be the lead. I know he was the one who spearheaded this movie. And he doesn't seem very intimidating. My wife always says his face looks like a golden retriever. He has like kind of that dopey little sad little face. He got buffed out for this movie, but not so buff that I went, oh shit. He would just kind of he was very toned, and I didn't believe him as like the scary, imposing he didn't try and play it as scary. Like he was like the kind soul who was also tough. Like he would scare people away just at the sight of him. Like there was a part of the movie. I'm not trying to give away too much about it, but this isn't spoiling anything. This is at the very top of the movie. It's the same plot as the original. There's a person who owns a roadhouse bar, and there's this guy's trying to push her out. He wants to build something there. I think he wants to build some kind of like, I don't know, housing or whatever. And so he's trying to bring all this riffraff to her bar to kind of get her to go away. And so she tries to hire a tough guy to keep the riffraff out. And at first, the first guy she goes to, she heard by word of mouth that he's a tough badass. It turns out it was a cameo by Post Malone, who was a fighter in this ring, and it's some kind of like underground fighting ring. And we see Post Malone fighting and whatnot, and all of a sudden Jake Gyllenhaal's character shows up, and he's like, "Oh crap, I don't want to fight this guy. Screw that, I'm out of here." And then so she's like, "Oh well, I don't want that guy. I want Jake Gyllenhaal. He's scared away Post Malone." And so that's why she picks Jake Gyllenhaal. He was reluctant at first, but then he ends up doing the deed. So it's kind of funny seeing Post Malone. I don't know if you're familiar with Post Malone's music.
Oh, the singer?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I've heard of him. He sings songs. The familiarity songs I've heard of.
But it was a fun movie. Long story short, I actually quite enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a turn your brain off movie. A lot of great fight sequences. Conor McGregor was kind of charming, and he's a terrible actor, but he was good to laugh at. He was a good villain in the movie. Although there's a part, I'm just warning you. I know I'm comfortable with my sexuality and whatnot, but he does go bare-assed in the movie. It made me cringe. And then there's a part, I gotta admit, I closed my eyes. He bent over. I did not want to see. I don't know if they actually show him in the movie because I had my eyes closed. But he bent over, bare-assed, and I did not want to see Conor McGregor's balls. But yeah, just warning if you don't want to see man ass.
But watch the original one first, and then watch the reboot.
Check out the original, but you don't have to
compare them.
You don't have to. It doesn't. It's not like it's like a sequel where it's required to watch the original and whatnot to get some of the references. But yeah, check it out. I would recommend checking out the original and compare if you're into that. But you don't have to. It's a good standalone movie. It's kind of fun. Now there's a movie that I would recommend watching the originals. If you're going to see Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Now, you have not seen it yet.
Oh, I wanted to, but
I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But I had fun with this movie. I'm such a huge fan of the original Ghostbusters movies that it's always going to miss the mark slightly for me. I thought it was the better of the newer Ghostbusters movies. Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was a good emotional ride, paying tribute to Harold Ramis, but it was totally different from the original Ghostbusters movies. It was a lot more serious, a lot more emotional. This one, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, definitely, it doesn't come back full form to the original tone of the Ghostbusters movies, but it comes damn near close, and I think it's the closest we're gonna get to recreating the magic of one of the OG Ghostbusters movies. We get a new baddie, which is great. They're not rehashing any old villains. I thought that was exciting. There's a weird subplot with McKenna Grace's character. I thought she's a very charming actress, but I feel like they made Phoebe Spangler in this movie a little too like of the emotional teenager. I get she's like coming of age and whatnot, but I would like to see her not go through all that family drama arc. That was the least interesting to me. It has nothing to do with the fact, I don't want to spoil anything, but it has nothing to do with me thinking that it's woke or anything, what happens in the movie, but they imply something about her character. I'll let you see it for yourselves. It's not that. I didn't mind it, but I just thought that I didn't like that was the direction they're taking the character, that her being like the emotional teenager. She's a very smart girl, and they should have played up to that part more instead of the way they took it. But that was a small part. Well, not a small part of it, but that didn't take away my enjoyment of the movie too much. It was great seeing the OGs back. A lot of people are saying, well, that's the only reason why people thought it was good, because they had the original. They had a lot of member berries in it, where they had a lot of callbacks and whatnot. But I think it was a decent standalone in its own, more so than Afterlife. And it's fun. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking. It's still not as good as the original ones, but like I said, it's the closest we're going to get to getting that feel back of the originals. And it's definitely worth a watch. I would check it out in theaters. It's fun. Like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking. Where I would rate the original movie a 10 out of 10. I would rate this one maybe like a 7.5, which I think is fair. But yeah, definitely. It was, being a huge Ghostbusters fan, I would have taken it a little bit in a different direction. But man, it was. I think this is the best we're gonna get, especially in Hollywood nowadays with studios intervening. I mean, Sony. It's a Sony picture, and then I feel like for being a Sony picture, they could have fucked it up a lot more. I mean, look at Madam Web. Dun dun dun. That was.
That is one big pile of shit.
I did not want to see it. I was disappointed.
Awful. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. But being a Sony movie, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire could have been so much more of a disaster. And the fact that it came out even half as good as it did, I am thankful. I'm thankful. So, like I said, it's not the greatest, but it's definitely a fun watch. I would check it out. I would recommend seeing it in theaters, and at least check it out on streaming, man. But yeah, very fun, very fun. Any other movies you want to talk about before we wrap it up today?
I don't know.
You need to watch more movies, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the ones that I recommended, check them out, man. And then, you know what? There was one I want to talk about before we end this podcast. There was a documentary out on Apple TV Plus about Steve Martin. Wonderful documentary. It's a 2-part documentary. The first part is about his early life, his beginnings, and becoming a comedian from a young age to, when he was a stand-up, when he joined SNL. Great. And then the second half is about his later life, and it deals with the struggles of his mental health, his loneliness, his successes and failures at the box office. It's an emotional ride. It really fleshes out him as a human and where he is now in his life. I thought it was an excellent documentary. Highly recommend it.
And of course, I would recommend the Unfrosted movie with Jerry Seinfeld that is coming on Netflix.
Yes,
in May.
That's such a weird movie, but I don't know. I don't know how Jerry Seinfeld picks these things. First B movie and now this, man. I don't know.
It's gonna look good.
I don't know. I never expected him to be in a Pop-Tart movie, but I will be
Jerry
watching.
Seinfeld grew up eating Pop-Tarts.
I mean, hell, if it's streaming, I'll watch it. I wouldn't go out to the theaters to see this, but definitely. Since it's going to be on streaming, I will check it out. It looks wild.
So will I.
Hugh Grant as Tony the Tiger. I don't know, man. I don't know what they were smoking, but definitely worth a watch, I think. Well, this brings a wrap to this fun episode of the Men Who Watch Movies, the 50th episode. Hopefully, we're going to make some more for you guys. I'm going to try and get one out regularly. We're going to experiment with maybe doing more of this live streaming stuff, just so editing takes so much time out of my day. We could just hopefully get through an episode, put it out for you. I want to try and do one every week. Maybe we can experiment with doing remote podcasting. That way I can do it from where I'm at. You can do it from home. That way, we don't miss a week. We wanted you to see our opinions and our recommendations, and just have a chat with us and talk about the movies that we love,
please.
The movies that we hate, and everything in between. This is the Men Who Watch Movies. I'm Alec,
and I am DJ the Movie Man Wagner, also known as CUE of the Men Who Watch Movies.
And we want to remind you all to
keep on watching.
Thank
I hope
you,
this goes
everybody.
viral.
Me too.